God, I almost cursed in the first second. I forgot to turn the air conditioner on. But you know what? We're going to sweat it out. It's homecoming week. Parlay Pete, how we doing?
That's how we're doing. That's how we're doing. Homecoming week, Spellhouse homecoming week.
The real homecoming week of the AUC.
Yeah, well, this is where relationships are full. Well, where you pick back up with the relationships that you had formed. But of course, the celebration is that we all went to this school, and certainly a lot of people like to believe that it's the best decision that they ever made. It creates lifelong friendships in this podcast, for instance.
Yeah. Hey, how many lies do you think are going to get told starting tonight through Sunday morning?
Well, we know it's Cap Fest. I mean, that's what this is. It's Cap Fest. It's a booty hunt. It's a combination of both. And now look, there's nothing new about capping or booty hunting because that kind of happens anywhere. But now you get to run into different eras of it. Because think about it. There's going to be a guy that graduated in 06 that's going to want to holler at a 2017 bitch, bro, that he's going to see. And she's going to like that older nigga's attention. Like, it's a mixture of errors while simultaneously being a celebration of – because nobody's there for the football game, right? So, like, it's a celebration of drinking because that's what this is. It's a drink fest, booty hunt, cap fest.
And it is also a reunion. It really is a reunion, right? I was having a conversation about homecoming earlier this week, and I said, all it is brunch on steroids.
Brunch. What else?
Any
Mayo, any type of drinking.
Yeah, like
where people just excessively drink. Like I likened it to, which obviously, I guess we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. I liken it to how Georgia and Florida are playing this weekend. They used to call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. This is like the world's largest black barbecue parking lot pimping ass fucking thing. And it's in the Mecca of Black America, Atlanta.
And the wild part about it is there's so much going on that you can miss so much. Like, I saw so many Instagram pictures from people who I had no idea were at homecoming last year because I didn't even make it to the area in front of Stats and the bookstore. I never made it there. I just did not get there. And apparently people were taking pictures and shit there. And I'm like, yeah, dog, I didn't make it there.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I hate I missed you. I'm going to catch you next year. No, I'm not going to catch you.
right.
I'm not looking for you.
More importantly, it's like, hey, man, look, homecoming's a good time. I've gone every year. That's exactly why I'm not going this year. Well, and of course we got a big football game this weekend, but I've gone every single year, and it's just like one of those things. And honestly, it's because I live here. And especially now, I live right down the street, so it's kind of like that. But good times though. I've had some good times at homecoming. And the last repetition, it's the same thing like every year.
In the last 365, right? Some of us have done 3 weddings, 3 bachelor parties, 2 weddings, 2 bachelor parties, a combination of the few random link ups in Atlanta. I've seen my friends.
Yeah, I mean, we did a whole podcast where just about everybody participated except Dale. Well, the one outlier for everything that we've talked about. But even Dale was at homecoming last year, at least, right? So
definitely. I don't even think Dale likes us.
Do you think that Dale thinks that we're niggers?
Absolutely.
Like, do you think that he would like when he's talking to his white friends, he's like, dude, they're just a bunch of niggers. It's okay. Like, he's like, they're fine. They're just niggers. It's all right.
when Dale raises his complaints about the fantasy league, it's like, we need to kick people out of this league because of this behavior. I go, hey, Karen, hold your horses. Is there corruption in our league? Yes. Is there nonsense that happens? Absolutely. But part of the league is just keeping the friends together. Yeah, the money makes it more fun, but it's really just about healthy, like, competition between people who could have fallen out of touch with each other.
Well, and I think that we're all equally competitive, and everybody thinks that they know more about football than everyone. So it's just like
Julian Turner.
Well, Jude just has his opinion. Julian has his opinions. Josh Holsey's a box score. Brad. Matt couldn't tell you. Matt couldn't name 3 starters on the Commanders, and that's his team.
Matt averages 55 points a week in fantasy.
JP probably hasn't posted a winning parlay in 4 years. So I can't, I'm just saying, this is not shade. These are not shots. I guess I'm just saying, these are the, now, meanwhile, you've got me, you, and Justice who regularly attend football games. Obviously, I'm a gambler. I certainly put money on this stuff all the time. I don't know too much about Boyd and his football analysis, but I know this much. Every year that he's been in the league, he's never made the playoffs. So that, to me, says enough about him and his football analysis. Who am I missing? Who are we missing? Gambles. Gambles is Gambles. He's clueless pretty much on the whole front. I think that Boink
Boink's a historian.
I was going to say Boink's more – do you want to know? I was going to say Boink's like a math teacher. He's an educated guesser when it comes to some of this stuff. He does his research. A lot of times it hasn't worked out for him, but at least he's actually in the know.
If he explains himself to you, everything makes sense. Right. He's not going to tell you something dumb.
Right.
But he'll tell you something that doesn't work.
That brother needs to make a trade. Well, he should have made a trade like last week, maybe even 2 weeks ago. His season is over.
He tried to get
on the side of the division where he can really get in, but his season's over.
He was trying to make some work for Ayuk and with a little bit of what's my man's name?
Bijan?
No, Kamara. But
then Kamara had the big Thursday night game.
No, I don't think that's what stopped it. I was open, but I was trying to. My trade request.
Well, you were gonna, we were gonna make a deal, and obviously I didn't. That's why even when we spoke yesterday, I said that's why I didn't send the deal. I said I knew you weren't gonna take the deal anymore. So he came off his best game of the season, and then all the talking heads Monday morning were like, is Lamar in the MVP conversation? Why would you trade an MVP candidate, even though you do need a running back? And Jonathan Taylor showed that he's still Jonathan Taylor, too, this past week.
I just picked up RB1 from the Cardinals.
Oh. James Conner will be back in like a week.
But, hey, we're not going to go down to fantasy football deep dive today. We've got a packed show and not a lot of time. Hey, babe, wake up. Wemby played.
Babe. Come here. Look. Wemby made a 3 to start his career off.
Wemby's first game was identical to Tim Duncan's first game.
Yeah. Oh, man. Talk about we just want to find any and everything. And I think I told you on the phone yesterday how during the game, up under the score, this guy wasn't even in the game, and they just kept flashing his stat. 2 of 3. This was like in the first half. And, really up until the fourth quarter, because he only scored in the first and fourth quarter. So even in the third quarter, he's not in the game. It shows Victor Wembanyama, 2 of 3, 6 points, like 2 rebounds, 1 block, a steal. They're just constantly flashing it. It's just like, my goodness, guys. You would think that the guy, was Kobe in his last game where you had to keep showing us how many points he has or something. Like, he hadn't even done anything. But he had a masterful fourth quarter for England. They did watch. He came in and he really did. They were behind, I think, maybe 4. Quickly got it tied up. I think they took the lead. But he went down like 4 straight times and scored. And,
Didn't touch the ball again.
I tell you, I'd give him a B- for his opening game. I just thought he didn't touch the ball. He just didn't really touch the ball enough. And I also think that he played so much on the outside that it was kind of scary. And I get it; they want him to bulk up, but I was expecting him to at least get a couple of post moves in. I mean, nobody is as tall as him. They had Grant Williams. I know you hate Grant Williams. They had Grant Williams guarding him. Man, Grant Williams is what, 6'6", 6'7". You know, he's like 290, but come on, man. He could have hook shot on this nigga.
See, how tall is Grant Williams? Grant Williams
6'6".
6'6", so 6'5" barefoot. Wemby has a foot on him, damn near.
Yeah.
Hey, come here. So,
yes, they do.
I enjoy. Wemby's problem is going to be the same problem Jabari Smith had at Auburn and that he still has in Houston. He has guards who don't want to give him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if those guards don't get him the ball, he's just not going to have numbers. He showed the flashes. He had like the go-go gadget arms and one dunk. You know what? I don't want to talk about on-court Wemby. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the pressure that's being put on Wemby. I want to talk about the media attention that's being put on Wemby as we talk about him as members of the new media. Hey, man, can y'all just leave me alone, please? Like, I just want to play basketball. Like, can you just stop talking about, hey, keep my name out your effing mouth. Like, can you just please not talk about me? I have a girl. She takes care of me just fine. Great fellatio. I don't need fellatio from you, ESPN, TNT, The Ringer, Bleacher Report, Adam 22, Shade Room, Spiritual Word. Like, leave me alone. I just want to play basketball.
Like, nigga said great fellatio.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this guy's gonna be Wilt Chamberlain the way he's getting his cock sucked.
Oh yeah, no, it's a big time blowjob, big time blowjob. But
he's gonna make me not like him because you know how I am with the players that the media loves,
right?
Especially the Euros. I just I'm out on him just because. Hey man, can you stop talking about him? I don't care if he stumbled running down the court. Yeah, people trip. It's human nature. He's fine. It's just disgusting. But
yeah, it's one big jerk off fest. It's a circle jerk from each network. It's not just ESPN. I mean, everybody does it. It's just like Victor Wembanyama. Not to sound like Colin Cowherd, but he's like 15 points. Shot 50-something% from the field. Shot 50% from
three. You know, it's funny that you bring up Colin Cowherd because Colin Cowherd compared Anthony Davis to the McDonald's milkshake machine.
And I can already see how this is going. What did he say? You know, when it's up and running, oh man, it's a good shake, but it's never up and running. You always get there. You're fiending for this milkshake, and you get there, and then you leave disappointed because you can't have it.
So Colin said it works half the time. Eric Boyd took exception to that and said, "See, this is the problem with people who actually don't go to McDonald's. If you knew, it does not work half the time. Maybe 1 in 5."
Well, you know, I'm lactose intolerant, so I've never had a McDonald's milkshake, but I do know that it's always been an issue because I have brothers that do drink milkshakes and stuff. So but I don't do that. So
I'm lactose intolerant. I like them too, but the Lakers lost to Denver. Listening to the media talk about it, it's like the Lakers were talking all this trash, and then they came out and let Jokic dominate. The Lakers are not trying to go 82-0. they brought in a lot of new players, and it was obvious that Darvin Ham is trying to figure out his rotation, and he's trying to play LeBron limited minutes. He played 29 minutes. I imagine that getting ramped up to about 32, 33. As it's kind of because LeBron had a positive plus minus, by the way.
Yeah, well, I think that the key too is that come playoff time, we know we're going to need him 38 to 42 minutes, right? Like
44.
Yeah, he's going to get 1 minute of rest in each quarter.
Yeah, so it's get him to the playoffs, but also when you have that many new parts versus a team whose core didn't change, the only big change is no Bruce Brown, and he was replaced.
Who, by the way, had a hell of a fucking game for the Pacers too. Money will spend on a guy like that.
You're figuring out the rotation. How much is Cam Reddish going to play? Hey, we got to showcase D'Lo because we got to get him the fuck out of here. D'Lo was terrible. We can talk about Anthony Davis not scoring in the second half, all of that. I don't care about that. It's game one. AD inconsistent. Yeah, we know that. I trust AD to figure it out.
Yeah.
I trust Reeves to figure it out. D'Lo?
But they asked this motherfucker Jokic in the presser, like before the season started, when they were, media day. They asked him, we know that you went back to Serbia or whatever. How many times did you pick up a basketball? He's like a couple times. And like he's dead ass serious too. Yeah, and this motherfucker, bro, but this is a dude that like it's crazy because this shit really is like a hobby to him. And it's like
I don't think it's a hobby to him. I think he has a healthy work-life balance. And I think that
work is only from October until June.
Yeah. He said he worked out though. He was working out. He was lifting his weights. He was doing that stuff. He was lifting his weights every day.
Horses.
And he said, "Yeah, I picked up the basketball, once a week or 2 weeks or a few weeks." Like, he wasn't hooping at all.
How many shots do you think that Jokic takes a week? Now they were saying that Kobe took, I think, 2,000 made field goals
a day. I think in the offseason, Joker does not make 2,000 shots.
I bet he doesn't either. And somehow, some way, he's got more MVPs than Kobe Bryant, right? Like,
but I also think that what we're seeing in American sports culture is overtraining. I think that rest is important. I think that, yes, you can always work on your game, but Jokic has a game. He doesn't need to add any new tools to his game right now. All he needs to do is when the season starts, training camp starts, a couple weeks before when he's ramping up, just get back in the gym and shoot. Make sure you can hit your shots. But like, he doesn't need to work on his handle. He doesn't need to work on his post game. And it's not like us, right? We had some moves in our bag in high school that we can't go to anymore because we do not play competitive basketball on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But like, that for me, I was a 3-sport athlete. So when I took that break from basketball, I could still pick up the bag that I already had because the break in between was not so far that I lost anything.
Well, and footwork, right? And that's one thing that Jokic actually does really well himself. He's got really good footwork for a big man, right? Like, He can move his feet really well, and that's why he's able to have such control of games. His footwork is really good. He's got really good footwork for a dude that's 7 feet. And
he has a wide back. You can't get through him. Pause. Necessary.
And I don't want to start this thing off with a hot take, but if this continues, Jokic is 28, 29. If this continues for 6 more years.
GOAT combo.
Yeah. Maybe not of all time, but at center, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we do have to talk about it. Like, why not? We've never seen a 7-footer do what he does. None of them do that. None of them. Kevin Durant is damn near 7 feet, and he don't do what he does. So,
no.
You know what I mean? Like I'm talking any nigga that height.
No,
Dwight Howard, he definitely don't do what he does because he does other things. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But Shaq's dominant. Sure, he was, just give Shaq the ball. He's going to lean his back on it. He's going to fucking put the shit in. This guy Jokic is beating people with the pass,
the handle,
the dribble, the rebound, and the bucket. Like, he's beating you all different ways. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how good he is.
He's going to be in a convo for most skilled player ever. If he keeps up what he's doing right now,
I'm just saying 5 more years of this. Just 5. Just give me because he's basically done it for 5. So basically, give me a decade of straight that.
A decade and 2.
Add one more title. He probably gets one more Finals MVP and then at least another MVP. He'll get one more.
Probably gets it this year, honestly.
Well, he certainly, out of everybody that has played so far, he certainly made the case on the first game of the season.
Hey, before we get out of here, can I talk about his teammate, please?
Yeah, man. Come on. Talk about superstar Jamal Murray.
Reggie Miller really pissed me off during the telecast. I think Reggie Miller is a great shooter, but he's not great at talking about basketball during the game. He was talking about Jamal Murray, and he's like, this guy, it's crazy how he's never been an all-star. No, it's not. He has never had an all-star regular season. Never in his career. Has he ever been an all-star guard in the Western Conference? Look it up. He's never been an all-star guard in the Western Conference, but he had a crazy postseason that would lead you to believe that he is going to be one of the top guards in the Western Conference. He's going to be in that all-NBA conversation. He's on that trajectory now, but he just arrived there. He has not been there and been snubbed. He's not been snubbed. Not 1 year in his career has he ever been snubbed. He has been CJ McCollum with good PR, and now he is stepping into the role of a Dame Lillard-esque, a Klay Thompson-esque, a top-end guard now.
Right.
Booker 3 years ago type guard. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what's crazy is that, because that's why when you start looking at it, it's like, well, who's the comparisons? Guys that are really good that haven't made all-star teams. CJ McCollum being one. Obviously, Mike Conley just got his like 2-3 years ago, but he was another one. Think about Mike Conley. People forget this. Mike Conley was the highest paid player in the NBA at one point. And it's fucking gross to really think about it in that regard, because it's just like, it just goes to show that these niggas make way too much money, because there's no reason why somebody like that should be the highest paid player ever. But he was, and he was a guy. He got his literally like 2 years ago,
and he never deserved it.
Right, and I feel like he didn't even get voted in. I thought that maybe he was. KD didn't play, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking Westbrook didn't play. Harden did. Somebody didn't play, and he was an alternate.
Yeah.
But it counts.
Yeah. DeJounte Murray.
No, did DeJounte get in that way?
Yeah.
To me, DeJounte is an all-star level player.
He is.
He was keeping that Spurs team afloat to where they weren't dreadfully bad. Like, they were a 36-37 win team because of him. Like,
I totally agree.
He's a two-way player, too. That's what makes him so good. Even though he looked like dog shit yesterday, too.
Hey, you want to talk about him?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the Hawks. Let's talk about Trae Young going 4 for 19, 1 for 9 from 3, losing to a team that is going to be in the lottery again. Same with the Hawks. They're a playing team. If they don't go out and try and get Pascal Siakam, brother, they're a playing team.
If they don't go out and get Pascal Siakam, Landry Fields, Kyle Korver, you should count your days. I know you won't, because we got rid of a really good GM to bring you guys in.
Can we?
Travis?
I thought he drafted relatively well. Danny Ferry is Hawk. It's Hawk. He goes down in Hawk lore as the best GM in my opinion.
Well, Danny Ferry had those comments that put him in.
About Luol Deng, but
brother.
That man got Joe Johnson's contract off the books. And he drafted Al Horford, who turned out to be a stalwart for a whole decade. Danny, I liked what Danny did here.
No,
I think that Danny just lacked the star. Like, he hired Bud. Like, Danny was a rock star.
The Hawks have been a well-run organization for years. Bud obviously left once they started the tank job.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to do that, which is fine. And Schlink built the team back up. And as he got the team running, owner's son makes friends and wants to do things a different way. And now we bring in former players who I don't know if they're good front office guys, but they're the guys running the front office, and they've got to make a move. We've got to make a move for Pascal Siakam. We've got to trade DeAndre Hunter and junk.
Yeah, you center it around Hunter. I mean, if you got to give up Capella, give him up. You just gave a Kongu the money, so Capella's going an expiring deal. That's appealing to anyone.
And in the buyout market and the later in the season, closer to the deadline, there's going to be a 7-footer who can give you 8 and 8, and that's all we're asking for. If we're going to have a Kongu in a more dominant role, we just need 8 and 8. So,
I'm trying to think. Onyeka, hold on. Let me just see this real quick. I want to fact check it. Onyeka Kongu, his like a 36 per, bro, was like, it's like a 16 and 10. Yeah, no,
he is Clint Capella. He's just not the same force as a rim protector as Clint Capella. But I think you can find.
He averaged last season. I mean, he was 10 and 7 on 23 minutes.
Yeah, give him 10 more minutes.
I mean, he's a double-double.
Yeah.
Which is that's all you need. Like, and because even though he's undersized, you can interchange him and Pascal. I wish he probably needs to develop a little bit of a mid-range game. That's something he doesn't really have, but he's a hustler. He defended Giannis very well, I thought, in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like,
hey, so what about my idea of DeAndre and hopefully junk for Julius Randle?
Ooh. See, DeAndre is like RJ Barrett, though. Like, don't they feel like kind of almost like the same dudes, except maybe RJ Barrett takes way more shots?
Yeah, they're disappointing.
Like, don't they feel like the same guy? And actually, DeAndre Hunter's supposed to be a defensive guy, but DeAndre Hunter, all the hope for DeAndre Hunter came from when the Hawks got eliminated by the Heat that year, 2 years ago. And in that game 5, he had like 34. Like, and everybody was like, yo, this motherfucker playing. And he won a national championship at Virginia. He's a part of the team that lost to the 16th seed, but then came back the next year. And in a weird way, I think the Hawks maybe thought he could be a baby Kawhi, to where his defense was always going to be there, and we can develop him offensively to where he is a 22 to 25 point scorer, but he's already a really good defender. But he hasn't panned out that way. He's a 15 and 6 guy, which is okay, but like that isn't really what the Hawks need. The Hawks need
Pascal
Siakam, an elite wing.
And for what we're paying him, I'd rather Jalen Johnson and AJ Griffin get the minutes.
Well, and we saw with Jalen Johnson yesterday, 21 and 7, I think. And I know that him and John Collins aren't the same guys, but certainly there was the dunking yesterday. He had like a couple fast break, just, it looked good. It looked like, put it this way, it looked like he's been getting developed.
Yes.
Because we hadn't seen much of him. And I know that Nate McMillan doesn't like that was the aura around Nate McMillan. He didn't like playing like rookies or something. And he wasn't really getting minutes. And obviously, AJ Griffin last year, we saw the flashes of okay, he's not a superstar, but this is a dude that can shoot the ball, that can give you really good minutes, as a scorer in that second unit, right? Like, yeah, he's got NBA pedigree because of his dad. There's a lot to like about him, and those guys have to develop. But Trey and DeJounte have to do their job, man. They have to do their job, and they didn't do their job yesterday, and that's why they lost.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that it gets better. You just can't lose games to the Charlotte Hornets / Bobcats.
Right, the Bobcats.
You can't let Brittany Renner's baby daddy kill you.
Right, the guy that's known for fucking Brittany Renner and getting her pregnant. The one nigga that got her pregnant.
That's not a bad place to be.
I'm not against it. I'm just saying that's what the brother's known for. I don't want to be known for getting anyone pregnant. Unless it's Rihanna. ASAP Rocky doesn't give a fuck about his rap career anymore. You know why? Because he's set. Just like Travis Kelce, don't let that man impregnate Taylor Swift, right? Because it don't matter. The football, he already going to the Hall of Fame. He's a top 3 tight end.
Yeah.
Like, it don't really matter. That shit don't even matter. But because think about it, we're in a generation, crazy enough, where there are some people that really do think that Jay-Z is just Beyonce's husband.
Well, they're dumb.
When Ho was kind of
him first.
Exactly. That was kind of, I'm not saying that elevated Beyonce, but it did elevate Beyonce.
It elevated Beyonce.
Yeah. Same with, I think that it benefited both Kanye and Kim, but like, I think Kanye elevated Kim more. Personally, I think that it validated. She had already been fucking with rappers, but Kanye's also like here.
Well, I think they talked about how like Kanye was putting her on like fashion and stuff. You know what I mean? So,
right, Skims. You just talked about how Skims is on the Milwaukee Bucks floor. That's Kanye. And even if you've ever seen Skims, that earth tone basic color, Kanye was kind of the first person that was really introducing that shit to people.
Oh my God, Dame just hit this crazy and 1-3, double pump, all of that. He was trying to draw the foul and he still hit it.
Who did he put it on
though? Number 11 for Philly. Speaking of putting it on, do you think that
I thought you were going to perfectly segue in. I know that we're not doing baseball, but you said he's putting it on Philly.
No, I'm not going to put it on.
We'll get to them later.
I'm talking about, do you think the Warriors should put Dwight Howard back on in the league?
Yeah, I don't see why not. He'd be a good fit. Even obviously, he's okay with accepting a backup role.
Yep.
So he can be Looney's backup. He can run with Chris Paul, like you said in our text messages. They can run that pick and roll. Dwight can still be effective at the rim at the end of the day. He's good at doing rim jobs, I've heard.
No. He's solid around the rim, nice soft touch, but he can really bang it in when he needs to.
Yeah, and he's gonna bring plenty of D.
Yeah, no.
He likes the contact.
Yeah, he plays hard D. The
key is the D for him. That's the key, though. He's a 4-time D player of the year. He's been an elite D guy for a very long time in this league.
Hey, you want to hear a funny thing about Dwight Howard? Gilbert interviewed him this week, and they were talking to him, and they kind of did the side by side.
This week when?
Like Monday. So
did that news come out the next day?
Came out. No, they recorded it live.
So it was the same day that it came out.
Yeah. You
didn't say anything about it?
No. They wouldn't. He was not going to come to Gil's Arena to have his coming out party.
You know what it is, too? Wow.
How does that play in the locker room? Do you think, like, I don't care what Dwight Howard does in the privacy of his own home, but do you think he should, like, have to come out?
I'm going to be honest with you. You saw the video that Jew put up, right, of Cam and Mace?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I 100% agree with Mace, bro, because it's like, yeah, no, we don't care about what you do in the bedroom, but to act like it doesn't matter, it's like it does matter.
I mean, I think Michael Sam did not get a fair shake in the NFL because of the times that we lived in. Once he came out of the closet, there were people, for being honest, who aren't comfortable with that in the locker room.
Well, Dwight Howard, at the end of the day, is such an elite player to where we all believe that he was snubbed of the All NBA 75 team. He was the number one pick out of high school the year after LeBron. Like he's a Georgia high school, he's an Atlanta legend, bro. Like I don't give a fuck if that nigga likes men. Like, you know what I mean? Hell, it's so many rap niggas. I'm not gonna say, obviously, there's many people that people think are gay anyways. So it's just like the issue, you know what? And that's another thing. People don't really have an issue. Some people do, some people are homophobe, but like a lot of dudes don't really have an issue with gay dudes, bro. Like nobody cares if you're gay. But at least own it. Yeah. Like, that's kind of the thing. What made you not comfortable with owning it? And I get it. You're saying he might have been blackballed out of the league if he had did something like that. I think that he was just too fucking talented for that to matter.
I agree.
Maybe it wouldn't have worked in 2009, 8, 10, 13. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have worked. But, like,
after Carl,
he could have really been the one that, if LeBron James came out as gay, bro, he would not be blackballed from the league. Like, he's too talented. And like, Dwight's not LeBron, but I'm just saying, he's a top 75 player all time, just like that nigga. He did all the same things that nigga did, except win, MVPs and 4 championships. But he got one with him. And I'm just saying, he's an elite. He's one of the best defensive players of that era. He is the best center of that era.
So let me tell you,
he's one of the best rebounders of all time. Like
in the Gill interview, they did kind of a side by side of Dwight Howard's resume versus Patrick Ewing.
Yeah,
Dwight's resume is better than Ewing, like all over.
Oh my God, the Bucks are fucking the Sixers. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And yeah, they are. And the wild thing about it was that Ewing had the New York media market behind him, that those two finals runs, and he's remembered as a greater center than Dwight Howard, and he's not.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, though. You got to think about it. Patrick Ewing did win a national championship. Obviously, Dwight came out of high school, but like Pat was a name at Georgetown. I mean, he was the big ticket in that draft. Think about it. That draft is historically famous because, like, of him. Because they're saying that that David Stern froze the envelope, like to know him to New York. But I'm just saying, it's bigger. It's big. It's a little bit bigger than that. I agree with you. I think that Dwight Howard. I mean, I didn't really watch Pat, obviously, but like, if you ask me, I would say that Dwight Howard was the better player. But that's just my opinion. And maybe I would need to watch some more Knicks games. And I get it. The years that and really one of them Knicks, that shit, the 99 shit don't count. That nigga wasn't really there. Like, he was hurt.
It counts. Oh, yeah, you're right. He wasn't.
Fuck, it doesn't. It does not count. He finally made it when Jordan retired, right? And then Shaq did it the very next year. And then that's when everybody's like, well, Shaq's better than Patrick Ewing. Like, nobody even discusses whether or not Shaq's better than Patrick Ewing. Shaq's better than Patrick Ewing. The fuck? I
mean, and they have this thing called the Ewing theory, like where you're a good player and your team is better without you. A team
Pat never won an MVP. Like, David Robinson is a center in his era that was on the dream team just like him. David Robinson's a better player than Patrick Ewing. Like, he is.
I was about to make a smooth transition to a team that obviously doesn't suffer from the Ewing theory. You fuck.
My bad. I'll shut up. Please continue.
Philly is a team that does not suffer from the Ewing theory. No James Harden. They're down 20 before half.
Yeah, talk about when you said that, so I took them first half -6.
Philly -6?
No. Minus?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You knew who was favored in this game. I did It was plus odds. I took a -6 because I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, unless Embiid just goes crazy on Giannis, how's the game going to be close? Oh, Tyrese Maxey must be an all-star this year. Come on, man. Tyrese Maxey's going to fall under that McCollum.
Yeah.
Like, he the next nigga up for that. Literally.
Did Joel Embiid get like the most fraudulent MVP ever?
Yeah, they gave it to him, man, because they had to. They could have easily given it to Giannis or Jokic, but they didn't want to do it again. They didn't want them to get 3.
I advocated for Embiid last year, but I think he should have got it the year before. But yeah, no, Harden's been away from the team. It comes out that he was spending time with his sick mother in Houston, and all those absences were excused by the team, so no fines paid for that. He came to rejoin the team yesterday. He was told that he would not be traveling. He went to the airport to catch a flight with the team, and security turned him away. And he was told that because he hasn't been with the team, they wanted to track his numbers, his speed, all that analytic nerd stuff to make sure that he was able to play, because they don't want him to go out there cold and get hurt. Although he's been training with one of the best trainers in the NBA,
right,
who traveled with the team, but they left James Harden behind. He did show up to work out today. James Harden was obviously not happy with that because he wants to travel with the team, and the NBA is looking into it because he's healthy, he's not injured, he's not suspended, and so why is he not traveling? Because NBA players do have an obligation, even when they're injured, to travel and sit on the bench. Sounds like Daryl Morey didn't take too kindly to James Harden's words, and now he's fighting fire with fire. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's a way that you can put James Harden on the court again for the Philadelphia 76ers.
I think he's made that very much known.
But I'll tell you what, I'm not paying somebody all that money to not even show up. I'm going to make you miserable if I got to pay you.
Well, Josh Harris is the one that's flipping the bill. Daryl Morey is not flipping the bill. And the beast with Daryl Morey. And the thought would be that Harden would go and he's got Josh's number. And I know Josh is busy dealing with the
Commanders.
The Commanders. Yeah, the sorry-ass Commanders. Even though Magic Johnson seems to be the mouthpiece of that team. Him with his obvious takes on Twitter. But
we can't win games if we don't score more points than the other team.
It's like, thanks, Magic. I didn't realize that. He's like, you make a really good point.
Magic, I thought the eye test granted victory, not the scoreboard.
No, and this is actually what he said. He said 7 points isn't going to win you games in the NFL. It's just like, shit, Magic. This is nigga. This is exemplary shit. Like you bring something new to the table.
Yeah.
Basketball ass nigga, you rich motherfucker, man.
EJ needs to take his fucking Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
Must needs to shut him down like he shut down Kanye.
Kenny made some good points. He was like, Philly's doing nothing to try to extinguish the fire of James Harden. Daryl Morey hasn't came out and made a statement addressing what James Harden said. So the questions are going to continue. And then when you turn him away from the jet, why not let him travel? Why not let him just, sit on the bench in street clothes and say, hey, we're not because he's been away from the team for so long. We don't want to play him yet, but we will, but we're looking to play him.
Right.
But when you turn him away, it sounds like you're creating more media fodder and headlines that you don't actually need.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. And, the sad thing about it is that Philly is in this awkward situation to begin with.
They should tank.
That's a bad PI call. But
it's PI.
Let me see the replay. It looked like he just jumped up and made the play to me.
He was early.
So you're ahead of me. Let me see. Hold on. But point being, they're in this awkward situation because you start talking about James Harden is in the last year of his contract. Yeah, he was a little early. Damn. You know, it's yeah. But James Harden is not coming. Regardless, he wasn't going to come back, right? We know that now. Like, he's not coming back anyways. You probably should trade him to try and get some value, but Embiid's gone too. He wants out.
And that's why you should.
You guys went out. They could have went out and they could have got Dame.
And that's why you should have gotten rid of Harden during the summer before he made a fuss while his value.
They could have did exactly how Phoenix got in that deal. They got rid of somebody that's been disgruntled for a whole year himself. Sent him there. Got the pieces from both ends, basically, except Drew going to Portland at first. They got some pieces. They got all the scraps. And all they had to do was give up a first-round pick that's going to be the 28th pick and a pick swap, basically. And Aiden, they got rid of their problem. They got Nurk, and they got depth. Like, they're like, all right, Portland and Milwaukee, y'all get me one of y'all starters. Let me get one of each from each team. All right, thanks. We got 2 starters. And we got a bench player. Thanks. And all we had to do was give up a guy that didn't want to be here and a first round.
And we only signed him because we didn't want to lose the value.
Exactly, because we didn't want to be in the same situation that you're in, Philly. We didn't want to have a guy that was valuable on, basically the equivalent for the NFL, what would be like a franchise tag, like the tender or whatever. Like, we didn't want to have to deal with that. So we gave him, because he's a restricted free agent, we gave him this poison pill contract that we knew somebody would take because the new NBA deal is going to kick in like a year or two anyways. And it's going to be a normal contract to begin with. And he's still young, and somebody is going to want to build around him. He does have talent. He was the number 1 pick.
Here's the thing, man. I think Daryl Morey
Jones. That guy's a wizard. He is.
I think Daryl Morey lacks people skills. I think that as great as he is analytically, based on the way that he's built his teams and they've performed, the way that he's treating his James Harden situation, he just doesn't get the people side of his job. Last thing on Philly, where the hell is Elton Brand? Don't answer that. 2 more things on basketball before we get out of here.
Okay.
How bad was fucking the ESPN countdown show?
Really bad. I was going to ask you this. I meant to ask you this off air. Did you see Bill Simmons's he did an interview with like Sports Illustrated?
No, I did not know about that.
It was almost like a TED Talk, though. It was weird. No. It was Bloomberg. It was a TED Talk like with Bloomberg. I swear. It was like a TED Talk. But he talked about media. Actually, now I'm intertwining 2 things because that happened too. But he was.
Your audio. Wow. I'm echoing.
No, you're not echoing. Am I?
I am echoing in my ear.
I don't have the thing up here. They didn't say my internet's bad.
No. It's not.
Okay.
1 second. Hold on 1 second. Don't talk. Talk.
Hey.
We're back.
Okay, so Sports Illustrated interviewed Bill, and I'm about to make this come full circle. They interviewed Bill, and they talked about how when he was there, do you remember he was used to do draft coverage and stuff like that? I think he was on NBA Countdown.
He was.
He talked about how awkward it is to where 4 max is like, he's like, that's even pushing it. He's like, really, it should be a 3-man thing. He's like, you start talking about you're doing these 5-minute segments, and he pointed out CBS specifically for adding J.J. Watt with 5 people. He's just like, it's a 3-minute thing, and it's just weird because everybody has to get some talking time. But I feel like with ESPN, it's the same thing. You added Myers, which I think was a good move, honestly. I am. But Wilbon, like you said, is kind of a lame duck sitting there. He's the PTI guy.
Stephen I actually like Wilbon.
Same. like I grew up liking it because I love PTI, right? But Kornheiser wasn't good on Monday Night Football, just like Wilbon's not necessarily the best person to have for the NBA like that. I mean, I don't.
Wilbon is fine.
To fucking death, and then of course you got Malika, right? Like
Wilbon is fine if you don't have Stephen A. The problem is when you bring in Stephen A. because of who he is at ESPN. There's only two people who have a bigger dick at ESPN than Stephen A. And that's Troy and Joe, and you don't see him.
Exactly. Right, we talked about this. That's what I'm saying. Them motherfuckers, bro. That's why everybody else has to work everywhere, because them motherfuckers said we're not working everywhere. You can kiss our. We'll sign back with Fox if you don't want to do it. They're like, no. We're gonna do it. And then they're like, Stephen A., baby, you got to earn that check because we can't hire somebody else to do this. You've got to do it. You've got to do more.
And the problem is what Stephen A. does is his personality, the influence, the sway that he has at the company, he dominates the show. Stephen A. is probably the worst personality to have to work with in short windows.
Yeah.
First day, yeah, you got time to get your shit off. But the way the ad situation is set up on the ESPN show, you don't have much talking time. You have too many talking heads there. And let me tell you, Bob Myers is so great on that show because when they were talking about James Harden to the Clippers, right? And Stephen A's like, no, I just couldn't make that move. You don't bring that guy in because he's been disgruntled here, he's been disgruntled there. And Bob Myers is like, if Steph comes to me and says he wants a guy, or I ask him about a guy and he says, yes, he wants him, he's okay with him, I got to get him. You have somebody who's had the pressure of making the decision.
With real superstars and with the dynasty.
Yes, and can say, nah, dog, all this media shit y'all talking, no. If Steph say he wants somebody, it's my job to go get him because it's my job to make Steph happy and win games. And when you don't have another player there to talk about the locker room dynamic of, nah, man, I work out with James in the offseason. We cool. Like, it's deeper than what James is ever going to tell y'all. It's ever going to come out in the media. So, like, we can be, like, the players can be more comfortable with bringing somebody in with the bullshit because they actually have a relationship with that player or they understand it from the player's perspective. Because, again, I think that a Kawhi, a Paul George, and a Russ can understand why James wanted out of all of his situations, right? Houston decided to suck. Yo, I can't win games with John Wall and Boogie Cousins. Get me out of here.
Right.
Brooklyn. Oh, Kyrie don't want to take the vax. Well, we can't win a championship if the three of us aren't playing together consistently. We got to build chemistry. I can't play like this. Philly. Oh, no, you told me you're going to give me the max and not to sign my max extension. And then I took the pay cut and then I still didn't get my max extension. Hey, dog, fuck you. I'm out. It's not that James Harden is necessarily a quitter on teams. He is somebody trying to win a ring, and if the situation does not give him that, he's like, I want out. Just like if a GM or owner has a staff that doesn't look like they're trying to win rings or has a team that's not up to win ringing capability, he's going to get rid of them.
Yep.
So that's why we need a player. But ESPN is Daryl Morey. All they look at is the numbers. They don't understand what the people actually want. And I get cutting Jalen Rose, I get getting rid of Van Gundy and definitely Mark Jackson. I understand getting rid of these people, but wouldn't you much rather have if we're gonna have Malika as our talker there, have on the Malika, a Bob Myers, a Dick Jeff, and a Perk there, or maybe if we're gonna add a media guy, I would prefer Wilbon over Stephen A. Since Dick Jeff actually calls games. Dick Jeff, Richard Jefferson, for those of you who don't know. Having Perk right there, a champion, a guy who's been on multiple good teams.
Played with a lot of great players and played against a lot of the great players.
Was a high-end prospect coming out. Obviously, he was not an NBA star, but he's respected amongst stars, right?
Second in LeBron's class.
Exactly. And CP3 was in that class, right? So he's respected. He has the clout like a Jalen Rose who did not have the NBA success that we thought, that you expected, but has the respect.
He's still a solid pro, though.
Yeah, but was still a
good argue Jalen Rose was the best player on that Pacers team that played against the Lakers the first time.
Yes.
Reggie Miller was old. Austin Crozier. I mean, Davis. Like those were the dudes on that team. Mark Jackson was the point guard, if I'm not mistaken. Like that was Larry Bird was the coach. Like, bro, that was the Pacers team. That I think they had Detlef Schrempf, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that was like that Pacers team. And Jalen Rose was like the leading scorer. And he had to guard Kobe the whole game.
So, like, when those type of people add a perspective that we need. I don't care what Malika Andrews has to say. Woj, I don't need an insider on my pregame show. The way that TNT cuts to Chris, dang, I lost his name. What's Chris Haynes? The way they cut to Chris Haynes before the game, he's a sideline guy. That's who Woj should be. He should not be the guy sitting behind the desk giving me analysis, because Woj, you're speaking for the owners and the GMs. You're basketball Schefter. Chris Haynes talks to the players. He cool with them niggas. Giannis is dating his cousin. Giannis's baby mom is Chris Haynes' cousin.
Hold on, time out. You said that Giannis is dating Chris Haynes' cousin?
Yes, Giannis's baby mom's.
It's Chris Haynes' cousin.
Yeah. She's worked in the NBA.
Let me tell you, shout outs to Giannis because he be getting shit done.
Yeah, he got paid. Like Chris Haynes told a story on his podcast.
He be getting shit done. Like when it comes to think about when stuff if this nigga Giannis, I don't even know if Haynes was the one that first reported it, but think about it. Giannis is like, I ain't signing no goddamn extension. And then nigga, a week later, Dame Lillard appears. Hey, and then 2 weeks later, the nigga signs an extension. But
he only signed it for 2 years, so he signed 3 days.
He lined up for 3. He lined it up to where
it's 2 in an option, player option.
Does Dame have an option?
I don't know, but then the point
is he still had. This wasn't the last year of the deal, was it?
No, yeah, yes, he. Yeah, I think they got. Let me look it up. Let me not.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I feel like it's lined up to where he can bounce when Dame's done, or if Dame wants to leave. Even basically, it reopened the Bucks window to 4 years. Because you got to think about it. If they don't win this year, Middleton's going to be gone. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of him after this year. If they
all
don't
right,
win.
so 2026, 2027 is his last year that he has to be there. He has the option for 2027, 2028.
Okay.
So, yeah. But, yeah, apparently Giannis was in Fresno at a barbershop, and he was just telling the truth to people about basketball. And obviously, he's at Haynes' barbershop. So, he getting calls, he getting the info, whoop the whoop. And then nothing that he would felt comfortable sharing on the podcast, which means this nigga Giannis was in there giving it up.
Yeah, he was telling the truth.
Last thing, All-Stars going back to the traditional format. I'm okay with the format for the teams because the teams are more passionate.
I mean, we grew up on it. It is better. They just wanted to make it a TV event. With the draft, the players picking players. Because I get where the NBA was coming from, too, because think about it. It's just like us, right, if we're on a blacktop. And you got the 2 best players out there, and you got to pick between your friends, right? You know what I mean? It's the same concept. But,
Dylan's going to get hurt.
Man, let's just keep it East-West. Plus, that opened it up, too. Even though it was the same amount of East players as West, when it came to alternates, it opened it up to where it could be more West or more East, depending on the player. So, and there's always an all-star that's hurt, literally. Even in the old days, there typically is always one nigga that misses the game for whatever reason. And
I don't like the change in the ending. I don't mind it going back East-West, but I'm with
you. That's what I was saying. I like the 24 points. It's a great tribute to Kobe. Without being overly crazy. Some people want the logo change. We don't have to do all that for Kobe. And you talk to one of the biggest Kobe fans ever. We don't have to do all that, but they definitely, it's a fitting tribute because considering he had the most MVPs in the All-Star game. Wow. How about Tampa stopping the Bills on the 1?
Yep. Hey, close this out because we got a lot of stuff to hit and not a lot of time.
Okay. Yeah, great for the NBA All-Star game. Happy that the NBA is back. Fred VanVleet wasted money. Jaylen Brown looking like he's certainly not worth $300 million. Dwight Howard, brother, Atlanta still loves you. You can be yourself if you want, man. And get back out there, man, and try and get on the court and prove people wrong.
All right. Hey, guys, that's hour 1. All right, Parlay Pete, what we're going to do is we're going to open hour 2 with the picks because just in case you have to take off early, I may do a little solo action. I know you don't have them ready.
You can keep stalling, though.
I'm going to stall. I'm definitely going to stall. Yeah, we're going to hit the picks. We've got to talk. We're going to dump on Dez. This might become the Dump on Dez podcast because Jesus Christ, we should have beat the dog piss out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but Desmond Ridder was just a careless football player. He goes from 3 picks one week to 3 fumbles the next week. But we come out on top with the win. We're looking forward to the battle of I got it. We got the backup bowl coming up this week. Parlay Pete will be there. We got Desmond Ridder, a backup quarterback, face to go against 2 backup quarterbacks in Malik Willis and Will Levis. You know, battle of the backups. It's the backup bowl. Can't wait for the Outback Steakhouse backup bowl.
Yeah, you know, it's actually kind of wild too, just because you know, if you had told me that Desmond Ridder fumbled 3 times in the red zone, twice on the 1-yard line, and that Bijan Robinson had 1 carry, and that we won the game, I'd say, so what, did Tyler Algier have like a 270-yard rushing day or something? Like, no, and that wasn't the case. And, you know,
Tampa's
what this is, man, that defense is special. We got a good defense. It's not an all-time great defense, but, boy, we got a defense finally. And I feel like we're really just missing one dog because there's Jeff Okudah, best offseason pickup.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of obviously getting Bijan in the draft. But off-season-wise, Jeff Okudah has been a rock star, bro, on the other side. PFT ranks him, like, among the top 15 corners in the NFL.
It looks like that watching the games. Like that Washington.
He looks like the number 3 pick. He looks like he's justifying where he got picked.
Yeah. In that Washington game, watching it up close and personal. Oh, they're throwing at AJ Terrell. They're not throwing at Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff plays. And don't get me wrong, AJ Terrell has given up some plays. I think some of that is schematic as well. Because I don't know what plays they're calling. I don't know what their checks are. Just because the cornerback is in the vicinity does not mean that cornerback got beat for that play. But if the idea is to throw at AJ Terrell, AJ Terrell is like a real basketball defender. You know, he's not getting picks. He's not necessarily getting PBUs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't throw the ball over there. Or you throw it and it's incomplete. Like he plays the ugly side of defense, not the glamorous side of defense. Like Trayvon Diggs, he plays pretty defense. He's actually not a great cover corner. He's a ball
right.
hawk. He's Antonio Cromartie. He's what's my man's name? His son plays out in Denver. Not Denver, for the Chargers. Golly, what's that cornerback's name? The kid.
Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, he's Asante Samuel. Like, hey, yeah, he makes plays on the ball, but he also gets beat, right? That's not what AJ Terrell is, and that's not Jeff Okudah. Like, these guys are locking up. Our pass rush could be better. And, you know, we talked about Danielle Hunter.
The Vikings they have a pulse now. They can make the playoff. You want to know what's going to be so crazy?
We got them next week, baby.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But now this is the worst case scenario. We lose this week. Let's say we lose somehow. You're 4-4. The best part is that Tampa's gonna lose tonight, and I think the Colts are gonna beat the Saints. I think they're a better football team. Even with Gardner Minshew, I really do. They got cheated last week, by the way. Anyone that watched the end of that game, they got hosed. The Colts got hosed at home. I think you put it in the group and you said clearly the refs, got
some cheddar.
Browns money line or some shit because yeah, it was crazy, man. That was crazy. That last call was an uncatchable ball. It was the wildest shit ever. But they get the Colts this week.
Here's where they messed up. They should have called holding or illegal touching. I'm okay with it because it's not affected by the pass. But once you go pass interference, you go, no, that's not pass interference because the ball was the fans got that ball, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, exactly right. That shit. Hey, the guy had a better chance of catching it with the beer in his hand than the receiver did. And he's sitting, 15 feet away from the end of the end zone. And he's also on a elevated surface, too. So it was crazy. But I do have these picks ready, too, to where we can hurry up and knock them out, and then we can get back to some Falcons football because I want to talk about my trip to Nashville.
Okay, while I'm looking for my phone to put the picks in, I'm expecting to be at my daughter's birthday party, and you do not have to RSVP. I'm just putting that public pressure on you.
What time is it at? I did see the text. Now, here's the thing. What it is I'll come back to make sure that I'm there. Touchdown, Josh Allen.
Saw it.
Are you Desmond Ritter the shit though? What? But he actually extended it too. So
you going to New York?
I am, but my plan was to leave Wednesday anyways, so I can come back Saturday. But that's what I'm saying.
Man,
I can come back Saturday. That's not a big deal. I can come back Saturday.
Spend your time in New York, man.
I can come back Saturday. But what time though? Is it early in the morning?
No, it's 2:00.
Okay. I can do that. I can make that. But
let's go college football first or NFL. What do you have up?
We can go college. College first.
All right.
We get juiced up for this NFL stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Parlay P's NFL 6-pack. Sponsored by no one.
Hey, we got to get the Drake 666 to play. But anyways,
I will put that in for next week.
Yeah, there we go. We got a pretty good 6-pack this week. I know I say that almost every week, but that's because I feel really confident in my picks. We went 500 last week, returning from a 1-week absence. Not exactly the way I was hoping that would go, but a couple of footballs bounce one way or another, and that's the game, and that's why it's called gambling. So I actually really do love all my picks this week. And I'm not just saying that. I just really feel good about them. All right, so we're going to start off with a ranked ACC matchup, which could probably determine who's going to play Florida State in the ACC championship. We got Duke at Louisville. Man, I'm fucking riding with Duke. Their coach has really turned that program around, and you can tell. It's like so apparent. They were giving Florida State all they could handle in the first half. Of course, Florida State's just more talented, so they blew past them, unlike a Dabo squad in Clemson. Give me Duke on the money line as the dogs here. I like Duke at Louisville. Next, we got number 19 Air Force. Thank you for your service. At Colorado State. Colorado State has not disappointed this year. Every time that I have picked them or picked against them, they have always covered. I really like them to cover at home against Air Force. I know that triple option is tricky. But give me, Norville. Let me get Coach Norville and the Rams at plus 14.5 at home. Next, we got Mississippi State at Auburn. I don't expect Mississippi State to go back-to-back weeks in the SEC, beating somewhat quality opponents in Arkansas and Auburn, considering this is the SEC. Give me Auburn on the money line at home against Mississippi State. Next, we got Iowa State at Baylor. The Matt Campbell's getting fired train is really starting to heat up. He kind of saved his job a little bit by winning that game that he won last week. But I like Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears at home as dogs. Give me Baylor on the money line at home. Next, we got Oregon State at Arizona. I'm a little surprised at how good the odds are on Oregon State. I know that DJU has had a resurgence, and obviously Oregon State's ranked number 11. And Arizona played really well against USC, right? Like, they were expected to lose by about 28. And Arizona has been a much better program this year than, previously. They just haven't been a good program. Even when they got someone there, Rich Rodriguez, they've hired these big-name coaches, and but now out of nowhere, they're kind of pretty good. That doesn't mean anything to me. Give me DJU and that Oregon State football team on the money line. I really like them. And then finally, Oklahoma at Kansas. Oklahoma showed me how flawed they actually were against UCF last week. I didn't necessarily expect them to cover like the 20.5, but the fact that thing came down to basically the final play is kind of scary at home. And it kind of makes that Texas win not look as great. Kansas actually is a really good football team. So we're going to take Kansas plus 10.5 at home against Oklahoma State. Against Oklahoma.
Okay, we got Kansas plus 10.5. Where's my plus sign? There we go. Hey guys, forgive me. I know it's a bad optics look, but I'm putting the bets in my phone as he gives them to me. Pause. So here's what we got. We got Duke on the money line.
Yep.
Colorado State plus 14.5.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn on the money line.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor on the money line.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State on the money line.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas plus 10.5.
That is correct. And then what do we do with this, Lee? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0. That's what we're going to call that.
No. You like it? I love it. Let's talk about the big guys. Let's talk some pro ball.
Let's get into these big boys. Pause. But that's crazy. Hey, let me tell you, Mason Cameron are some of the funniest niggas, bro. It is wild because they've entered this spectrum that Joe Budden, Gilly did, but they're doing it with sports, bro. And honestly, I am so fucking with them.
No, they're funnier. So
and they're New York niggas too. Yeah. So it's but they're they actually had hits. No offense to Joe Budden or Gilly. Right? These are actually hit makers. They
had albums.
Mace carried Diddy once Big died, right? He basically carried him, until he became a pastor. And then even when he came back from being a pastor, he carried him. But then Cameron and Dipset, I hate to sound like some people that I'm not even going to talk about, but iconic. You know what I mean?
And Cam would drop some shit now, and you'll listen to it. You go, oh no, he still got it. It's still killer. Hey,
the last time I listened to some Cameron, we got to get to these picks.
Oh, hold on, real quick. I'm at work this weekend, right?
Yeah.
And the guy is talking about we were hooping. He was talking about this big fella. He was just saying yeah, nah, man, he was too big, man. I was just like, hey, dog, you can have it. And then one of the dudes at work was like, hey, yo, get your mans. Hey, yo. And it's probably 7 people hey, yo, get your mans. Hey, yo. And black and white doing it. And I go, yo, these niggas are icons.
But Mace, I just remember when he was that's crazy. It's think about when you hear some shit though, bro, and you just it doesn't even go in one ear and out the other, nigga. It goes in one ear and it stays there, and then you realize what really was just said. That's wild, man.
Yeah, no, bro. No, Mace. I said Cam and Mace are the most entertaining personalities in sports media today.
I agree, but who could sign them? HBO could be about the only people.
Yeah, no, they got to stay where they are.
Independent. It's fine, but
dog, when
they kind of go under Barstool, but they're but I would understand why they'd be man, fuck you, white boy, type shit. Yeah, so where they would never do that.
You can't.
It's right.
You can't be somebody who regularly says pause and think you're going to go mainstream.
I just hope that maybe we get a collab one day where even if it's on Club Shay Shay and Volume, right? That's a Collins shit, right? Maybe he could get them. But to where maybe they go on Club Shay Shay. Because Stephen A already came on It Is What It Is. Right? That's what it's called. It Is What It Is, right?
Hey, give a fuck about Stephen A. Stephen A's a company, man. Let's get to these picks.
Let's get to the fucking picks, man. All right. So we got a very fucking good six-pack this week. I'm really excited about it too because we went 3-2-1 last week. And by the way, I hit my parlay last week. I bought the half point. I probably should have said that because typically I do that because I don't like pushes. But we had a push in that Chargers-Chiefs game. Please forgive me if that cost you more bread than what you should have got. Nonetheless, we went 3-2-1. I'm looking at a 6-0 slate right here. Seriously, and you tell me where I'm wrong. I mean, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time making a Lee's 3 because, nigga, I think all these picks are gold. Let's kick it off. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Indianapolis Colts. Both of these teams were in high-scoring games last week. The Saints had 12 straight games that went under. I don't believe that this game is going to go over. I don't expect it to be, and even though the Browns have a better defense than the Saints, I don't expect it. Give me under 44.5. I think that this is free fucking money. I just really don't see the points getting scored because Derek Carr sucks and Gardner Minshew is still a backup. And he had an unbelievable game last week, and I don't expect him to do that again this week. Under 44.5, Saints at Colts. Next, we got this is the Sunday nighter. We got the Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Chargers. Although I expect there to be more Bears fans at this game than Chargers fans, this is the bounce back game. This is Austin Eckler's big fantasy game for guys like me that have been waiting for him to go off for 150 total yards and 3 touchdowns. This is the type of game he needs. Tyson Bagette starting again. Let me get them Chargers -9, man. They're going to carve them up.
Oh, shit.
They are. They're going to fucking carve them up. Come on, man. They're going to carve them up. Look, he was competing with Mahomes and them on the road. The shit was fucking tied. It was 17-all at one point in that Chiefs game. And they were going back and forth. That Chiefs defense is better than that Bears defense. You get the Chargers -9. Next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the San Francisco 49ers. Sounds like Brock Purdy's not going to play. Sam Darnold's a seasoned veteran. But my goodness, the Bengals have actually kind of returned to form a little bit over the last 2 weeks. They were on bye this past week, and the 49ers have a short week. I got to take the points with the Bengals. Give me the +4.5 on the Bengals. I don't know how they don't cover this. I'm not saying that they're going to win the game. I kind of lean towards them winning the game, but my goodness, they'll cover the 4.5. Let's get the Bengals 4.5. Next, we got the Cleveland.
Hold on 1 second. Kyle Allen's warming up on the sideline, by the way.
Well, what happened?
I don't know. I missed it. Kyle Allen's warming up on the sideline, and the NBA game is 71-67 Milwaukee.
Well, I got I did first half.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
All right, what we got?
Next, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are going to be wearing those, I'd argue, the best throwbacks. And I love the Kelly Green Eagles. I'm not going to lie. I fucking hate the Eagles. I hate the city of Philadelphia. So,
and I hate Josh Holsey.
I hate his fandom. I don't hate him, but I hate his fandom. I hate his fandom because he's not from Philly and he decided to be an Eagles fan. And it's just like, he
does not have a hometown.
Say online. Like,
he does not have a hometown. He does not have a hometown, so he gets.
Yeah, but why did you latch on? Because of Donovan McNabb. It's like, well, what about Steve McNair, where you lived in Tennessee? What about Dante Culpepper? Why aren't you a Vikings fan? The fuck out of here. The Eagles hadn't won anything either. Like,
you're a Wizards fan. Why not the fucking Commanders?
Or why not the Falcons with Michael Vick? Anyways, moving on. We're going to go ahead. It's Cleveland Browns at Seattle Seahawks. I like the Seahawks on the money line here. I don't see P.J. Walker going 3-0, and them wearing those jerseys is just going to make it much more special in Seattle. Give me the Seahawks on the money line. Next, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Dallas Cowboys. Interesting tidbit about this game and why I'm going to lean the way that I'm leaning. In the games that the Rams have lost, They only covered one, and it was actually a push, if I'm not mistaken, against the 49ers. But basically, in every game that they lost this year, the defense that they went against going into the matchup was ranked higher than them, and also I'm going blank here. They also there's another statistic that goes along with this. Nonetheless, we're going to go Cowboys -6.5. I like them to get it done at home. They're coming off a bye week as well. And the Rams just lost to a Steelers team, to me, that has no offense. And that's kind of ridiculous, you know? So we're going to go with the Cowboys -6.5 at home. And then finally, we got the Houston Texans at the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to call it right now, folks. We got the upset of the week pick here. Give me the Carolina Panthers money line with Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud. C.J. is the better quarterback. I liked him more coming out. But I think that Bryce and them, they get their first – I think they get their first dub. Let's go Carolina Panthers money line, baby. Dog of the week.
I like it. Let's go. We got Saints at Colts under 44.5.
Correct.
Chargers -9.
Yep.
Bengals +4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks money line.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys -6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers on the money line.
Panthers on the money line.
666. You like it? Parlay Pete. I love it.
And when you like it, or when I like it and you love it, that means it's only time for one more thing.
Please three.
Here's what we got for Leads 3. Give me Oregon State on that money line.
Yeah.
I like DJU.
Oh,
and you know, I don't even like betting on the college kids. But here, I like DJU. I like what they're doing there. And here's why I like them so much. DJU is showing us that he is better than we thought he was, but Dabo isn't who he used to be.
Correct.
Dabo is the homecoming king at 25. Yo, hey, at 17, you was the guy. You was him. You had him.
Are you saying he peaked early?
I'm not saying he peaked early. I'm saying that life has changed and he's not adjusted to the changes in life, so he's no longer him.
Sounds like he peaked early.
My next one, give me the Seahawks on the money line.
Yeah.
You know, I got the Seahawks winning that division. I'm standing on it.
And I'm gonna be honest, that shit's starting to heat up, Lee.
Yeah, because I think the 49ers lose again this week, and I think the 49ers go 3-game losing streak. Now, I'm not taking that bet in my picks because I like something else better. But
I didn't take that pick, and you're basing it on mine.
Right, but I like Cincinnati. I like T. Higgins having a crazy game and his fantasy value.
He's back this week.
Yeah, and I like his fantasy value shooting up. And I
bet you won't start his ass though.
I bet you I won't either. I bet you he goes off of my bench and I trade the fuck out of him for a good running back. Okay.
Who's gonna give you the running
back? Somebody in our league will. I trust our league.
Okay. Wow.
And
Damn it, just tied this thing up.
Oh shit! I'm watching basketball. Let me change the channel.
Josh Allen he threw a pick and then the Bucks scored.
Bucks throw a touchdown to Chris Godwin. Throw the ball to Mike Evans. Anyways, my last pick. This one might bite me in the ass. How about them Cowboys? Give me Dallas -6.5, man. The Los Angeles Rams are not a good football team. They cosplayed as a decent football team early in the season.
In the first 2 weeks, because they beat Seattle on the road, and then they played the 49ers so tough. They're really not a good football team, and that's okay. Like, they have – what it is they've got fantasy all-stars, essentially.
And you know what? Sean McVay's child was born this week. Son, daughter, I don't know. His kid was born this week. We are both parents. How much?
That's the last thing he's thinking of is the Cowboys.
How much of a fuck do we give about work on like the day our child was born in the days following it? He didn't care.
I knew that there were certain things I had to do because Mari was born on a Wednesday, but like at the same time, I slept at you too. I know you did too. We slept
on that terrible bed.
Man, I didn't even have a bed. It was like a couch type.
No,
thing.
that little couch pull-out thing. Yeah, that shit's terrible.
Yeah, I stayed there all 3 days. You know, I only left. The only time I left. See, I don't know what was around y'all's hospital, but my daughter was born at Emory, right?
She's not a Grady baby?
Nah, she's Emory Midtown, which I think maybe used to be Crawford Long. I don't know, but like,
okay.
But point being, I went to JR Crickets. JR Crickets is right down the street, so man, talk about making me want some tonight.
Dang, I forgot.
I got my 10-piece hot. They don't call them hot lemon pepper. It's lemon pepper wet, but it's not lemon pepper wet. It's just lemon pepper wings with hot sauce, right? So,
okay, I
got my 10-piece lemon pepper wet, extra crispy with 2 ranches and some fries. And man, your boy, being a trooper.
Yeah, no, bro. Like I left the hospital because my situation was different because I had a NICU baby. So like we left before baby came home. Like I had dogs, so I'd like leave to take the dogs out. Like,
water, piss, all that.
Yeah, I do all that. But when I tell you, when people were talking to me about work, I remember when my boss like hit me up about some work stuff a couple weeks after. I'm like, big dog, I don't care. And don't get me wrong, Sean McVay, his job is a bit more demanding, so I know there are things that he does have to care about. But if you want to believe that he's putting together his best game plan right now, you are a childless bastard.
Yep. And not to mention the Cowboys just had a week off and they're back home. They got arguably their biggest win of the season in terms of going on the road, even though it was a home game for them.
Hey, Pete, I know you got things to do before you take off. I need you for at least.
I can give you 10, 11. It's 9:19. I got 11 more minutes. I can do it.
I need you for this one segment.
Let's do it.
Guys, here's what we're doing. We're going to run the piss out of this football. Hey, I got you. We're getting ready to run the piss out of football. Time to get something going. I got you.
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
Hey, before you take off, I am going to tell you I need this. I'm just to hit this segment. And I need you to hold me down because I am going to have to take a bathroom break because there are other topics that I refuse to not be on the show, but I'm going to have to pee before I'm done.
That's totally fine. I can talk Falcons football.
Yeah, no, but I don't want to miss your Falcons foot.
Well, I tell you what, I'll set it up.
Set it up now. Let me go take this leak, and then we can go. We can just dump on Des. Pause.
Let's do it. So picture this, guys. You've got a division opponent on the road that will determine who is in first place of your division. Not only is it going to determine who's in the first place of your division, it's also going to set you up for possibly a playoff spot. You've got the edge. Now, picture this. Your team hasn't had sole possession of their division in 7 years. 7 fucking years. Sounds like a pretty big game. You've got a big game. You're going against a team that really isn't proving themselves. They really haven't done anything themselves, but you're on the road. You've got this division opponent. You're here to win this football game. Your quarterback's got a lot of questions. He comes in the week before, he throws 3 interceptions in a game that you probably should have won against a mediocre team at home. You show up for this division opponent who is currently in first place on the road. It's your second division game. You can start off 2-0 in your division, which is a great start because that would make you the only team in the division that hasn't lost a division game because the Saints beat the Bucs. Am I right? They beat the Bucs already, right?
Yep.
Shit. I guess the Saints haven't lost a division game either. It doesn't matter. They're 3-4. Anyways, so you've got this big football game, and your quarterback, you need him to play well. You know, starts off pretty well. You score on your first drive, actually. You know, like, look solid. Like, it was a solid drive. And next thing you know, you get in the red zone again, and now you're like, wow, that's weird. Are we really moving the ball on a team that's basically got all their defensive players from when Tom Brady was there? And it's like, yeah, you are. Okay. Then next thing you know, your quarterback's fumbling. And you're like, oh, all right, well, that's not – I'm the least bit surprised by that. All right. Anyways, we'll throw that out. Okay. Then you get it again and you drive down the field again and you're in the red zone again. And, you know, there's a long instant replay about your wide receiver and whether or not, you know, he fumbled into the end zone. Call is ruled a fumble inbounds. The ball is going to be placed at the yard line. Now, with this fumble, some could argue maybe the center was at fault. Maybe. It just depends on how you want to look at it. You could argue maybe he was at fault.
I blame Dez for everything.
But to me, it looked like Dez's hands weren't where they needed to be. Considering that Dahlman, our center, graded out at PFF as the number 2 O-lineman for the week. So if it was his fault, certainly, I don't know, that probably would have affected that enough to – that's pretty big, you know, in a game to fumble on the 1 inch yard line at that. Then you get your team down to the red zone a third time or a fourth time in the game, but actually really the sixth time total. Well, yeah, the sixth time total. You get down because you had already previously kicked 2 field goals. So you've got 2 fumbles, a touchdown, and 2 field goals. Now you're in there for the 6th time. The game's going to be over. You're going to go up 10. There's just not enough time for them to score twice. And they, I think, already have a timeout burned or something, and it's just not enough time. Your quarterback makes a run for it, which is good because the lane was open. And, you know, you would think that he was Tyreek Hill, you know, running back a kick or something, and nobody's behind him. And instead of extending the football like most quarterbacks, I've seen Aaron Rodgers do it. I just saw Josh Allen do it. You know, he holds it like a loaf of bread, kind of like what Vic used to do. And, you know, he acts as if, you know, he scored at the 2-yard line or something. And Antoine Winfield comes behind him and makes a big play. And it fucks your parlay and potentially fucks your game up because now they get the ball back, touchdown Bills.
Yep.
And now they got a chance to, you know,
win
the game. They can win the game. Good thing they didn't. They kicked the field goal, and somehow you get enough time to get the ball back. Kyle Pitts gets a ton of yak on a play that sets up the game-winning field goal, and you win. That was the Falcons on Sunday.
So I didn't watch much of the game. I was at work. I saw the highlights. I went back and rewatched some of the game. I didn't finish it and falling asleep. But one thing I noticed is, for one, why do we go to Kyle Pitts in the clutch, but we just don't go to him consistently? He was there. Like, he had the one pass that he dropped or whatever, but he was open. And then we ride him, pause, Dwight Howard style, all the way to a victory. What happened with the Drake London possession where it looked like he got the ball across and we didn't, and he didn't get the touchdown? What happened with that possession? Because I wasn't watching the game.
He makes a play. Nobody was really open. you know how it is. You see the corner of the end zone. There's enough field. And at that point, the only thing that can stop you is somebody from behind you because you don't see anyone in front of you. So, I don't know what his awareness is like. Sometimes people can hear footsteps. Certainly at quarterback, when you're about to get sacked, a lot of guys do. They can hear the footsteps. So he takes a run for it to go to the corner because he knows nobody can beat him there because, Desmond Ridder does run a 4.5. So, he just – I don't know. He got really lazy there. And it looked like a touchdown in real time. It did look like he did cross the plane, but he didn't. He had never crossed the plane.
I'm talking about the
Get ready to let the ball go. As he, have you ever seen how a guy has ran in a touchdown but dropped the ball before? It happened to somebody. I forgot who did it. That's just about what he was fucking doing. A little spit there. That's just about what he was doing. And, Winfield made a play. And
I'm talking about the Drake London play where he tried to stretch it. Like, what happened on that possession? Is that the Desmond Ridder fumble on the one?
It happened the very next play. So Drake London catches it. He goes. He's getting hit, and he kind of dives. The ball hits, inbounds, and then bounces over. It never cleared the
pylon.
Yellow, the orange, not cone, but
pylon.
Pylon, yeah. It bounces to where it never hits it, but it does a fucking acrobatic backflip almost. Man, the Bills can't stop the run, can they?
No.
Acrobatic ass, shit, basically. They end up calling it and saying, yeah, it's at the inch. And then the very next play, fumble.
So, again, I know you got to get out of here, so I want to get through this real quick. That sucks, right?
Yeah, he sucks dick. I think that
even when he throws for yards,
it's so bad because we probably are going to win this week. And he's just not going to get benched, bro. We're going to have to ride this thing out. And we're probably going to win our division.
Parlay Pete, we should be 5-1.
5-2.
Excuse me, 5-2, huh?
Which game? Lions and Jaguars, 2 playoff teams.
No. The Jaguars game, I think we should have won that game. I'm not mad.
I think that the turnovers are what lost it for us. I'm with you. I don't know if we played well enough to win.
It's a game I had us losing, but the way that momentum went crazy in that game where in the second half, we get to score, we get to stop or turnover, whatever happened. We're kind of driving, and then some bullshit happens. You go, the Jaguars game. I see where we could have won that game.
Okay.
The Commanders game. We should have won that game.
How do you outgain somebody by 300 plus yards at home and lose by 8?
How? No, I'm telling you, as somebody in the building watching the game and seeing that the Commanders had no pulse in the second half, had Eric Bieniemy saying, "Man, I'd rather go back to being Andy Reid stooge than this right here." You know what I mean? Yeah. 5 sacks. We got 5 sacks. You know what I mean? Watching that game, you go, "There's no way we should lose this game." Well, Desmond Ridder throws picks. Now he has fumbles. Desmond Ridder, the Falcons didn't deserve to lose Sunday, but Desmond Ridder deserved to get a loss. Desmond Ridder does not deserve to go to the podium as a winning quarterback after that bullshit he did. His fumbles weren't sack strip where TJ Watt's coming around, Myles Garrett's coming around, and they're slapping. No. Bruh, you were right there at the 1 yard line. All I had to do was this right here.
Twice.
I'm not even talking about the missed snap, right? I'm talking about you were at the 1 yard line running, would have went up by 10. All you do is this right here.
You ice the game.
Or put the ball in your left hand like this, and it doesn't come out. And the fact that it wasn't even a strong swipe. It was a weak ass swipe.
What
you lose the ball?
You want to know what sucks about it probably more than anything too? Is that a lot of people want to give him specifically a pass and say, young quarterback. Nah, man, I see guys in the MAC conference that when they run it in, they do it. This is not an inexperienced thing. This is a poor, just fucking poor, man. It just he's so fucking garbage, dude. But it sucks because their defense keeps bailing them out. They're bailing them out. Let me tell you, just as easily as we should be 5-2, we could very easily be 1-6.
Yeah, we could be
Carolina game. We could have easily lost to Green Bay. The defense closed that out. We could have easily lost to the Texans. Yeah. We could have easily lost to Green Bay, Texans. Who do we have wins over? We could have
lost to Green Bay. We could have lost to Tampa. You throw in our 2 losses. The only game that I think we just we beat Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's our only win-win.
Who's the other game that we won? That
I know. I'm blanking on who we beat too. It's a home game.
Game 2. No, because we beat Carolina,
Tampa, Texans, Green Bay.
Those are 3 home games. And we lost the 4th home game. We lost.
Okay, we could have lost to the Texans, Green Bay, and Tampa.
Yeah,
we could have lost all 3 of those games. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much all 3 of those games came down to Young Wei Koo making a game-winning kick.
He's made 3 game-winning kicks this year, and Cam Payne just shot a 3 and hit the other side of the backboard. Just throwing that out there.
I think I'm about to get fucked by Tampa Bay, man.
You know what? That's not a bad city to get fucked in. I've never been fucked there, but it's a city with a lot of opportunities.
I'm gonna get fucked on my parlay. I have a parlay. I took the Bills minus 6.5. I've got $9,000 I'm gonna win because the Bruins have already won. The Bucks already covered in the first half, and I took the Bills minus 6.5 first half, all because they couldn't get a stop. Maybe I can get a missed field goal or a pick by Baker or something.
So you got Buffalo minus 6.5?
Yep, in the first half. That turnover by Josh Allen, because the thing is that they were up 10-3. If they went up, they should really be up 17-3. But there's a false start, so that's good. I need a turnover though.
Let's see. You got a sack.
Where's the ball? How big was the sack? How many yards did they lose?
Probably about 5, 6. It wasn't like a crazy one.
So basically, if they don't get the first down, they certainly can't get in field goal range.
No.
Okay.
Baker is behind the 50-yard line.
Good, I see it. Yeah, he's about at the 45, 46, 45, 46.
All right, so Bijan didn't play. Apparently, he got sick, illness. NFL doesn't like it. Fantasy owners don't like it. Gamblers don't like it. But you know what? Here's my thing. As a Falcons fan, I don't like it because he's our best player with the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
But with the NFL intervening, caring about fucking gamblers and fantasy football, I don't give as a gambler and a fantasy football player, I don't give a fuck about that.
You don't give a flying fuck, Conley.
No, bro, if he gets sick, he gets fucking sick, man. Like, if we decide not to play him, but we don't want to tell the other team so that they scheme differently, that doesn't bother me. As a fantasy owner in a league who has Bijan Robinson, and
that's right for the gamblers. And we deserve the right to know that.
I think, the gamblers deserve the right to know it from.
You think they're going to go for it on 4th down? I guess so.
No. So the gamblers deserve it because of the deals that the NFL has made.
Wait, are they about to kick it?
They were, and they're kicking it. And timeout got called. The gamblers deserve it. The gamblers deserve it because
they don't have a timeout. Buffalo called a timeout?
Yeah.
For what?
Score.
Nigga.
To ice
they didn't know what they wanted to do. They had to hurry up and do that. Now they're just going to kick it.
Yeah, so
nah, bro, if they make this kick, Sean McDermott is done to me.
because the NFL decided to get in bed with the gambling companies, I agree with you.
How far is this field goal, Lee?
59. Make probability is 20% based on Amazon stats. I don't know what that means.
Go ahead and tell me if I get fucked, man.
Oh, something just happened. Delay a game? I think Tampa's got to delay a game, man. Todd Bowles is confused. He's going to get blamed for it.
So long to snap it? Oh, they're trying to draw them off sides. They're going to punt.
Look like you're good. But no, so I think the gamblers deserve to know because the NFL entered into relationships with gambling companies. But from a football purist point of view, if I'm coaching this team, I don't give a fuck about you gamblers.
You know what? This is actually, it was smart on Bowles. Not only because it cashes my bet, but like if they missed it, I mean, Buffalo needed one pass to get in field goal range to go up 10.
Exactly.
You're only down 7, and I think that Buffalo had the ball first. So
yeah, we're gonna get a knee right here. Parlay P, I don't want to hold you up because I've already held you up past your time. Is there anything else that you want to talk about on the football side?
I just want to make football wise, no. I just want to tell Dwight, look, man. Look, brother. Just be you, man. You've always been a colorful personality. Be you, bro. And I think I'll leave it at that.
Hey, Parlay Pete, man. Hate to see you go so early. Hold it down. Have fun at the homecoming. Tell a bunch of lies. Tell niggas you trying to get like them, even though you're not. Because
why is that like the number one lie that niggas tell to other niggas? It's like, man, I'm trying to get like you.
Bro, I've told that lie so many times to people who I know are like working right above minimum wage jobs with a Morehouse degree and student loan debt. And
but imagine a nigga saying, I'm trying to get like you.
You know what you should say if somebody tell you because again, did you say on camera what you're wearing?
No.
So I won't repeat it, but because of what you're wearing, if somebody say I'm trying to get like you should be like, shit, man, I don't blame you, dog. Boy, we doing good out here.
Yeah.
like for real. Like, don't even give them back. Shit, nah, baby, I'm trying to get like you. No, I'm not broke ass nigga.
All right. Now I would just be like, there he is. You know, that's me. I'd be like, there he is.
Bro.
Like you were looking for a nigga or something.
Bro. You got the blue face on, bro. I don't want to hear it. You got the real blue face.
Blue face, baby.
Yeah, nah, you got the real blue face. But, hey, man.
Wild too. You got to get into that too. This nigga throwing.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, let me write that down.
Guys, nuts. And it's not like we hadn't seen it before because somebody else did it at another game. Kodak Black did it, right? Like at a Dolphin or Heat game.
Yeah, but that shit was terrible.
Blue Faces was a little bit more ignorant because he was on the field kind of, and it was like children, like Kodak was in a suite or something.
Well, I thought Blueface was in a suite. It looked like a suite.
It is a suite, but the way that stadium is set up, so check this out. So SoFi, so there's the club, right? Like I sat in the club. You're on the field. It's just like the Falcons game. It's like very similar. But that is like from the 40 to the 40.
Okay.
But then there's like cabanas next to it.
Okay.
They're like field level. Kind of like how it is in the end zone at, Falcons games where the end racism is, right? Like,
oh yeah, those little clubs just right there. Yeah.
That's how it is in our end zones, but that's how it is. They have it on the sides too. That is the 10 to the 30 on both sides. So they're like cabanas. There's maybe like 2 on each side. And like, yeah, man, that's what he was doing. That boy wild as fuck.
Blueface, baby. Hey, you ready to sign off for hour 2, Parlay Pete? And I'm gonna try to go into my Stephen A. My Colin
Give us
Cowherd
some-
back for hour 3.
Give us some Stephen A. and Colin Cowherd. I'll be sure to definitely be listening.
All right. Hey, that's hour 2, man. Hey, Parlay Pete, have fun. Turn up for homecoming for the kid because I'm not there. But I guarantee you I will be at homecoming next year because that is my 10-year.
Hey, there we go.
All right. I'll holler at you.
All right, baby. We out.
Hey guys. It's hour 3. Hold on. Let me turn this TV off back here. I don't want to distract y'all. Oh, I'm not even centered. Let me get centered. I've got to get centered. Oh man. So yeah, that was hour 2, man. Parlay Pete has some homecoming moves to make, but there's some topics here that I want to hit. And a lot of times when he and I, have the scheduling conflicts where we have to cut the show short, we'll just cut the show. But some of the stuff I just really want to talk about, and I don't want to wait until next week. And those of you who know me, man, y'all know sometimes I miss the one-on-one appearances. Yeah, I miss the solo job. Part of me wants to take my blades off, but not today. So on the NFL piece, honestly, there's not much more that I care to talk about on the NFL piece. You got the 49ers. They've lost their last 2 games. They're kind of on a skid. They got the Bengals coming up. As you see in Parlay Pete's 6-pack, he took the Bengals plus 4.5. The Bengals coming off of a bye. Possibly no Brock Purdy. You got USC's own, the Jets' own, Carolina's own, Sam Darnold out there winging it by himself. He's not proven to us that he can be a consistent starting quarterback in this league, but at the same time, he's shown flashes. He's a gamer. He's a baller, But I don't know if he's an NFL starting quarterback. And honestly, if we're being honest, take the Bengals on the money line. You can't bet on Sam Darnold. I don't care if you have Kyle Shanahan back there. Everybody wants to talk about Kyle Shanahan and the great play caller that he is because he is an excellent play caller. Absolutely amazing play caller. But he's below 500 without James Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. He's not the same coach without James Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. So you've got to look at that and understand that when he's dealing with lesser quarterbacks, he's not the same coach. He's not the same. His plays that he calls, they don't play the same. So maybe the 49ers go 0-3. Lose 3 straight games, and that division gets super, super interesting. That's the great thing about the NFL. Injuries, drop a game here that you probably should have won. That happens. But hey, man, it's hour 3, man. The AC Lee and Parlay Pete podcast. AC Lee here by himself, all by himself, doing it like he did back in the Big Baby days.
I
ain't even got to We Ballin' Big Baby no more. Eagles sore. I don't really want to talk about them. Jalen Hurts put on the knee brace. We'll see what they do. I kind of liken the Eagles team to the Kansas City team last year. It's not looking as good as it once did, but it's still getting the wins and they're still figuring it out. So we'll see how they do. I think they're going to be a good team, especially when they get healthy. But stand by. Keep an eye on them. They may not be what we thought they were. The Bills, ... They lost to the Patriots 29-24. Not something we expect. And I'm not saying they're in a dogfight with Tampa Bay right now, but they're only up a touchdown. So we'll see. Mike Evans might break him one, and then we have us a ball game. Deshaun Watson has people upset. Brady Quinn talking shit. Deshaun Watson has done more for the Browns than you could ever have thought about doing. He cleared concussion protocol, but they did not bring him back in Sunday. I think Deshaun Watson's hurt. I don't think we will find out the extent of Deshaun Watson's injury until the season is over because he's going to try to play through that injury because he's a football player. But I don't like to talk around Deshaun Watson, okay? I don't like to talk around him not caring, taking his money, being happy, because I don't believe that to be true. I believe that he's a player who took a year off, so there's some drop, there's a little drop off there. I think that he's a player who was publicly embarrassed, so that's a shot on his confidence. He's not who he once was because of that. And he has to find himself. And I think that takes time. And unless you're somebody who's been in a public scandal, you don't know what it's like to come back from that public scandal. All you can do is talk about the football side of it. And, oh, he should do this, he should do that. But what's going on in his head? If you don't know what's going on in his head and you've never been there, shut up. What Juicy J say? Shut the fuck up. Because Gilbert Arenas talked about how once he had the gun thing happen in Washington, he was never himself. His confidence was shaken. He started thinking about basketball in a way that he never thought about it because he used to just go out there and play. Now he's thinking about it. And when you have somebody who's extremely gifted, extremely talented, extremely productive, thinking about something that they once did second nature, they're not going to be who they once were. Think about Manti Te'o. When you think about Manti Te'o, when he talks about his catfishing thing and how that blew up and the whole world found out about it, he started getting anxiety playing football. But if you look at his background, all he knew was football. So now you take the one thing that this person knew. Giannis just took a bad three. You take this one thing that this person always knew, and now they have to think about doing it, and they just can't do it at a high level like they once did. It's going to change. And it is what it is. I'm not going to say it's okay. I'm not going to get mad at Jimmy and Dee Haslam deciding to pay Deshaun Watson to be their quarterback because that's what they chose to do. And for those of you who have an issue with them paying him, that's a you problem. You can criticize it, but you shouldn't be mad about it. It ain't your money. You didn't lose it. If you got a problem with it, you a hater. Tyrese Maxey, 8 for 18, 22 points. Inefficient. What else I got here? Steelers 4-2. Glorilla showing up to the facility. Enough said. Mike T. Now, I do want to have a conversation about college football. And I really hate that Parlay Pete's not here to have this conversation with me. Emmanuel Acho, a former NFL player, former college football player, now turned analyst. He has a lot of hot, spicy takes. And I think Acho is more media than he is football player. I think Acho thinks about football from the media point of view more than he thinks about football from the football point of view. Because some of his takes are hot. They make for great TV. They make for great X. But they don't necessarily make for great football discussion. So after USC lost to Utah, again, Mr. Acho had something to say. And now am I shocked by Mr. Acho having something to say? Absolutely not. But did I like what Mr. Acho had to say? Hell and no. So Acho had a tweet saying that maybe Caleb should just sit for the rest of the season because he doesn't have opportunity at a national championship. He's already won a Heisman. So what's the point of playing? Don't want him to get hurt. Don't want him to tank his draft stock. But I say, man, hey, players play. If a talking head said this, I would disagree with it, but I'd understand it. But when you have a former player, a former NFL player saying something like this, it kind of makes me cringe. And I understand that the ultimate goal for most of these players is to get to the NFL, and some of them that's an actual dream slash reality for them, where others it's just a hope, a wish, and maybe this happens. But part of being on a team is caring about your team. Part of being on your team is going out there week after week and competing. Part of being on a team is maybe not achieving all of the goals that you set as a team, but going through the process together. Now, if he doesn't play in a bowl game, a meaningless bowl game, I don't care about that. But if this kid loves playing football, why would we advocate for him not to play football? Why would we take away the one thing that he loves? Because we're talking about his draft stock. I get you want to preserve players, but I look at preserving players just like I do when you talk about babies and germs. You're going to be encountered with germs. How do you deal with it? Players are going to be faced with the opportunity of injury. But playing football, you open yourself up to injury, but that's part of the game. But if you enjoy playing football, then play football. So a former player coming out and saying maybe Caleb Williams should sit, advocating for Caleb Williams to sit is absolutely disgusting to me. Emmanuel Acho is absolutely disgusting to me. If you know me, you listen to how I talk on this platform, I have very little for Emmanuel Acho. But the little bit that I do have for him shrinks when he says crazy stuff like this. Let the man play. Let him have fun. Everything is not just about money. Yeah, he gonna get the money. He's gonna get drafted high. But man, maybe, just maybe, some people like playing football because it's fun for them. I gotta take my blades off. I'm getting hot. Oh, I'm getting hot because the idea of Caleb Williams just sitting out for the rest of the season and that just being cool with his teammates, that being cool with NFL executives because, I'm just ready to get to the next level. Hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a regular student who's on track to graduate, who had all the great internships. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm done with class. I'm no longer going to put myself out here to subject my GPA to dropping. Because I've proven that I have the skills to get a high-end job for a company that I want to work for. So I'm just going to wait until I get the offer. Yeah, I know there's no risk of physical harm when you're doing that as a student, but it's the same thing. College is a tryout for your job. And what Caleb Williams is doing as a college quarterback, he's trying out for his NFL job. And part of that tryout is not only making the decisions that work for you in that moment, but it's making the decisions that prove to your future employer that you're there for the long haul, that when stuff gets hard, you're not going to run. Speaking of run, his coach, Lincoln Riley, should run the ball more. USC, Lincoln Riley can't beat Utah. 0-3 versus Utah. Alex Grinch, you should be packing up your house, looking for a new job to go be a DC in the AAC, in the Mountain West. Maybe in the new Pac-12 that has no teams. I don't know, but you're doing USC a disservice. But I don't really care to talk about that. Dabo lost to Miami. Lost number 3. Makes me smile. When you don't want to get into the portal, when you don't want to get into NIL, you get what you get. And when you start getting second-rate players, you get second-rate results. I don't feel bad for you. And people talked about Dabo making an insensitive joke after Clemson's loss to Miami. I don't care about that. I don't. I make insensitive jokes. But I wouldn't make that joke if I were Dabo, by the way. But when they asked him about if Clemson has a sports psychologist, to help the players during this slump. He goes, we got him. He's probably on suicide watch right now. You got to keep going. Now, to the mental health community here, I know this here bothers you. It probably triggers you. I mean, but partially, Dabo's right. He shouldn't have made the joke about him being on suicide watch because there are people who are legitimately on suicide watch, and there are people who commit suicide. And we shouldn't play around about that. But Dabo's saying that he's got to keep going. He does, because Dabo's job is to win games. Dabo's players' jobs is to play football at a high level. Now, having a sports psychologist, having trainers, having people there for them to rehab, develop their skills, tutors, all of that stuff. Those people are very important to the process, because what that does is it helps them be their best to win games. And you do have to keep going, because at the end of the day, if you're a college football player, your job is to play college football at a high level. If you're Dabo Swinney, your job is to coach college football at a high level. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if people's mental health are affected by that, that's something serious that you should take into consideration. But I personally don't think that should be your number one priority. But Dabo having 3 losses before the end of October just makes me grin. Turn your program around, Dabo. Michigan's under fire because apparently Michigan had a analyst on their coaching staff going to games, stealing signs. Nobody cares. NCAA care about better things. I'm not saying that they didn't break the rules. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. But who gives a damn? Stop chasing after Jim, because guess what? Jim's going to leave college football, and college football is going to take a hit because of it. Michigan's going to take a hit because of it. Why push one of your best coaches, one of your best personalities out of the game over some nonsense? I don't get it. I'll never understand it. But that's kind of all I got for college football. I don't really want to talk sports anymore, because those of you who know me know that I love talking sports, but I love talking about stuff in life that actually matters. I love to educate myself and educate my people. And that's why I took my jacket off. I'm going to take a shot of bourbon. I don't recommend you all taking shots of bourbon, because I don't think bourbon is something that you should chew. I think it's something you should sip, enjoy, light up a cigar, have a great time. But see, now it's AC Lee. Woo. AC back. Big baby back. All of that freaky stuff that I used to do, not like freaky. No. But we gonna talk some good stuff, because I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about what social media does to relationships. I want to talk about this nonsense of places you can't go on the first date. And guess what? I got time. So I can actually sit here and tell y'all the truth, go down it line by line and tell you how some shit can make sense. And if you don't like it, fuck you. So let me go into monologue phase. Social media will be the detriment of the American home. The American home will not look the same because of the effect that social media has. The way that it affects men, the way that it affects women, runs counter to building and maintaining a healthy and happy home. Now, do I think that social media does some good? Absolutely. Do I think we should all get rid of social media? Absolutely not. But if you think about all of the opinions that you get to hear, all of the stories that you hear, and the perspectives that you gain on a place where you are allowed to make up your own version of history. You're allowed to tell your story from your perspective without the other person getting a rebuttal, without the other person getting to speak on it. Does that actually tell the truth? And too often, we have people on social media talking about what they want, what they need, what they think, without the counter argument, without someone saying, "Hey, man, what the fuck you talking about, bro? This shit's stupid." We don't get that on social media. We get my side being the truth. And my side may not be the side, but because it's my side, it's going to be the side, and you're not going to hear the B side. When you think about great albums, you think about the B sides. We love the B sides. Some of Hov's best songs are B sides. But social media is the single. That's what we're promoting. And too often we take the perspective of those that we don't know without knowing the context about what they're talking about, and we live by that as truth. We hold that as our standard, and that is not the standard. Call me crazy, but I'm telling you, that is not the standard. So one of the biggest things running on social media this week was a group of women on Facebook create a list of places that men should not take women on the first date. 1, Cheesecake Factory. But what if I like Cheesecake Factory? What if you like Cheesecake Factory? They have a robust menu. They have some good food. What's the problem? We had the video go viral of the guy taking a girl to Cheesecake Factory, and she puts him out. It's like, you really taking me to Cheesecake Factory? Well, it don't sound like you're paying for your meal, so what the fuck you talking about? Because if you're so worried about like what, if you too worried about the money spent versus time spent, well, we probably shouldn't be together. Applebee's, I get that, bro. You should tell about no first date on Applebee's. What if it's your homegirl? Or what if it's somebody and y'all just going to get the dollar marks and y'all going to turn it up after 10 o'clock? Why not save money? But what if you can't afford anything else? Like the idea of not being able to take somebody somewhere to eat within like your spending, you like, yo, you asked me to pay for your food. You asked me to pay for you to go out, but you also want to tell me how much I should spend. What if I ain't got it? What if I'm financially conscious? What if I'm worried about getting to know you for who you are and what you bring to the table? And yeah, I can give you more, but why the fuck should I spend $300 on somebody I don't know? You asking me to pay a real bill on you, and baby, I ain't got it. My trick off budget, my fun budget for the next 2 weeks is $500. And you want me to drop $350 on a date on you? Damn, girl, I want to buy me a bottle of bourbon. Damn, girl, I want me some tequila. Damn, girl, I want to grill some steaks at the house for myself. Now I get it. If you don't want the type of guy who can only afford Applebee's, cool. But I'm gonna come back to you and say, what can you afford? What's next? Chili, same thing as Applebee's. Chipotle, man, what if we're doing a lunch date? What if you actually like Chipotle? What if I like Chipotle? And we try to keep it casual, keep it cool. Hey, you trying to meet for Chipotle? Because a lot of times the first date don't feel like the first date till you're already there. And I'm going to ask, why does it matter how much money I spend on a date? I ain't saying that I won't spend money. Cause it ain't tricking if you got it. Tricking if you got it. Everybody know it ain't tricking. What if I don't got it? Olive Garden, that shit trash. The movies, I think the movies is a bad first date because you can't actually talk to the human being. Like you're just watching a movie. But if you do like dinner in a movie, you go to dinner, catch a movie, then maybe go grab drinks after so you can actually talk about the movie. That creates like a space for easier conversation because you have something to talk about is the actual movie. Your house, yeah, more times than not some creep shit. Like unless y'all already got rapport, you shouldn't bring nobody to your house. Fast food chain. Okay, man. Yeah. Y'all got it. We're not eating fast food. Buffalo Wild Wings. Well, what if the date is to go watch a game or to go watch a fight, and Buffalo Wild Wings got the game or the fight? Why would we not go there to watch the game or the fight? That's crazy. If you like the fight, if you like the game, like why would we not be in that environment? Because I tell you what, a lot of times first dates are awkward, super awkward, right? So when you add the environment of a game, add the environment of people, you can actually like get in there and talk. You can get in there and talk, and like you can get in there and talk, and like the game, the people, the slapping hands, the hey, yeah, all that creates more conversation for you two. It finds middle ground, especially if you have a shorty who's into sports. Now the food there is trash. Wingstop, yeah, nah, that's dead. Red Lobster. What if she like Red Lobster? What if she like the Cheddar Bay biscuits? What if she like the Admiral's Feast? Why should I take you to the high end seafood spot if you like Red Lobster seafood? A buffet. Fuck with a child buffet. IHOP, Denny's. Yeah, no, I won't break on the first date. I get that. The gym. What if we both into fitness? Why not go to the gym, work out together? Get it in. Talk. That sound like the lazy fat motherfuckers who don't want to do no work. Church. That's kind of like the movies, bro. You ain't really got to talk about it until after. Starbucks. Oh, y'all lied. I ain't gonna say we're gonna go to Starbucks, but we might hit like a little coffee shop, local coffee shop. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna just get some caffeine. We're gonna sit here and talk. We're gonna rap. I don't want to spend too much money because I don't know you. I don't know what you into. You may not be into me, so why should I spend a bunch of money on a date? Like for me, I was a coffee shop. Um, I was a drinks and appetizers type of first date type of guy. And then once I found me a spot, you know what I mean? Shout out to my spots. We're gonna go to my spot because I'm trying to hit your spot. But it's all about what you're looking for in that first date. If you're looking for love, maybe, maybe not. But again, these are environments that are built on conversation. They're not built on money spent. If you're going on a first date and you're looking for conversation, excuse me, if you're looking on for money spent as opposed to conversation, then what are we on this date for? And you know what? I'm done kind of going through this list because, like they say, you can't go bowling, you can't go to the hookah spot, you can't do movie night, you can't do family function. No, why would I ever bring you to my family nightclub? Well, if you want to go to the club and I got the VIP, you know what I'm saying? We can sit on here on the couch, we can drink, you know what I'm saying, and we can chill. A bar just for drinks, yeah, yeah. Fuck out of here. Sport events, those are fun. Great dates, especially when we got good seats. Fuck you talking about Waffle House? That's up there with IHOP and them. We ain't doing that. But nah, like it's crazy that the panhandling prostitutes and the single women get to create the culture for what is acceptable in the dating world. Because I'll tell you, like the women who are in relationships I ain't gotta say they in happy relationships, but they just in relationships. They were somebody who they actually rock with. 9 times out of 10, they don't care about the environment in which they fucking cross paths. They just care about crossing paths. They care about the time spent. They care about the conversation. They care about the exchanges of energy. I know y'all care about energy exchange, right? Like that's important to y'all. But like when you start telling me I can't take you here, you can't take me there because I'm not that type of girl. What? So hold on. You're looking for a relationship. You're looking for a relationship with some reciprocity. You're looking for somebody who loves you and needs you. But you're going to take advice from the panhandling prostitute? You're going to take advice from the single, the forever single, always bitter, comes up with every excuse not to be with a man and then blames men, but it's your just crazy standards that don't make sense? That's absolutely nuts. And these are opinions that are shared on social media. And because these opinions are shared on social media, they become the mainstream talk, right? It becomes mainstream. And it's not actually mainstream because what y'all don't realize about social media is that the people who are outside living. They outside getting it. They outside experiencing these opportunities for what they are. They're not allowing somebody else to tell them what's good. They're not allowing them to tell somebody else what's fun because guess what? I went here, I did this. This was not in my in my brain of what's good and what's fun, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a good time. You know what I mean? But we have a society that's built so much on money. A society that's built so much on oh, you didn't spend 10K for my rings. That means you don't love me. Well, maybe I actually love you so much that I decided to spend less on the ring so I could have a down payment for this mortgage. Or I spent less on the ring so that we could make sure that we could put our kid in the best daycare. I spent less on the ring because I wanted to put the money in your pocket so that you could actually like do something with it. I'm going to tell you, if you're a woman looking for a relationship, you can't listen to these panhandling prostitutes. Prostitute can't tell you how to be a relationship because they ain't nothing but a hooker. And hookers ain't girlfriends. They're a piece of ass to get kicked out the house after they done their job. When you talk about, it's one thing to talk about getting security. It's one thing to talk about a man who provides and protects. But it's a whole nother story when you talk about you demanding a lifestyle that you can't provide for yourself. Like I was looking at some Instagram clips, not crips. I don't know no Instagram crips. See if I can find them. Because those clips spoke to the wild stuff going on today. Where here we go. Let me play this one for you.
I feel like this is gonna sound bad.
What
do you want his income to be? I feel like this is gonna sound bad. I feel like 300,000.
I would have to say 127, probably 150 to a $250,000 a year.
$500,000. Is that bad?
150, maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure.
I was just having this conversation with my friend, and she was like, you have to manifest a husband, girl. Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000.
So you said you want 500K, but what do you think the median income is for a 30-year-old?
60K, 70K?
It is $45,000.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I think it's 250,000.
It's 52,000.
What? No, it's not. Damn, America.
So now think about this. Think about what these women are asking for. They're talking about the upper echelon of the top 10% of men. And they're asking for a man to have a certain income of 150, 250, 625, 500. Well, what do you bring to the table that makes me want to share that level of income with you? Because what a lot of women don't understand is most of us men who are decent earners, and let me tell you, I'm above that average median income for people at 30, 31, but like, yeah, I make above that, comfortably above that. What do you bring to me that makes me want to deal with you? What do you bring to me that makes me want to bring you into my life? What do you bring to me that is so substantial that I should run the risk of having to have a difficult conversation with you or split what I earn with you that you had nothing to do with me earning? If you're going to tell me a wet spot and fricks, I'm going to tell you to fuck off. If you're going to tell me heartache and headache, I'm going to tell you to fuck off. You understand what I'm saying? I don't speak for incel culture. I think incel culture is whack. But at the same time, when you look at some of the stuff these incels talk about, is, hey dog, we're not giving you user ass women everything. We're not giving these panhandling prostitutes the fucking world, because guess what? You are asking me to give you a world that you would never provide for yourself. You would never provide it for yourself. It's a world that you don't even know. It's a world that you're not even used to, but you want me to give it to you? I got something I can give to you. But it starts with egg and ends with plant. It's not the word. It's not this world that you're talking about. And the level of delusion about what men actually make, and then you say, I want a man who makes this, but you know what? The average man makes this other dollar figure. Like, what now? You want a man to give you you want a man who makes $250,000 a year, knowing that the average man makes 50,000 a year. Well, are you above average? Do you provide that man above average? No, you don't. Stick to the river, the lakes that you used to. Don't tell me what you're worth. I want to see what the market tells you. Yeah, because people want to talk about my worth is my worth, and that's what. No. Market determines worth. You know why Rolexes cost so much? You know why Lamborghinis cost so much? You know why Porsches cost so much? You know why beachfront property costs so much? It's because people are willing to pay that price for it. So if you want to set your worth at a certain level, but nobody at that worth is willing to deal with you, that's not your worth. That's your delusion, baby, shorty, honey, girl, sis. You are delusional. And guess what? High value men don't like delusional. Gotta whisper to them. You can't yell at them. Because I talk to women in relationships. I talk to married women. I talk to single women. And they looked at that list and they said, oh man, this is some bullshit. These women don't know what the fuck they talking about. They ask for something they can never get. Hey, that boy Drewski getting some money, ain't he? I'm pocket watching. But now, like, what are you asking for? Don't get me wrong. Let me talk to men. Because again, we talk about social media having such a big influence on relationships and how it skews our views. Hey man, the baddies we be following, the baddie that we know that we didn't touch, following those women is toxic. It's problematic. See, back in the day when pops, grandpops, they may have been doing what they was doing. They may have been acting up. They may have had another family on the other side of town. But getting to that family took a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? You can't be seen at the local watering hole with her. But also, if somebody moved away, you pretty much lost contact with them because they didn't have no cell phone. They didn't have no Instagram. They didn't have no Facebook. They didn't have no X. They didn't have no TikTok. They didn't have no Snapchat. You couldn't just talk to them. So the accessibility to women also makes it more difficult for men to settle down and be happy settling down. The opportunity to show off the life that you're providing your woman, showing other women what you're doing, and not even because you're trying to show it to them. You just, you post your life, and you may post your true life. You're posting that shit, and they see it and they go, "Damn, boy, I want that life. Let me see where I can fall in at." Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's problematic, big dog. Because what was it? Chris Rock said a man's only as faithful as his options. And I don't believe that's totally true because I think there's some nuance in it. Definitely some nuance in it. But then when you start talking about having like options out the yin yang, how can you be focused on what you're focused on? I remember when me and my wife first started dating, and she was like, "Yo, if you're gonna date me, you can't be involved with nobody else because I want to make sure that you're focused on me and this is what you want." And I go, to me, that's like crazy. I ain't never been no talking stage with no woman, and you want me to commit to you off the talking. Like, are you crazy? I'm still gonna have me some yada means on the side. Not saying I'm gonna be focused on them yada means, but hey yo, I gotta have what I had, gotta have my yeah, yeah. But then when we talked about it, we actually broke it down. I go, oh, I actually see where you're coming from because yeah, if I'm dealing with these other women, I'm not focused on you. I'm focused on you all. And how can I know what all you provide for me? Because people try to act like in a serious relationship, committed relationship, that everything's mutually exclusive. Everything is just fun and games. It's like, no, man. What do you do for me? Because if you don't do this for me, well, I can't do you. You know what I mean? So you get that, and you go, oh, well, if I'm spread so thin, and I'm focusing on other people, I'm not focused on you. What do you think happens when you're looking at the IG model? What do you think happens when you watch that twerk vid? What happens when you think you looking at that one joint who fine as hell that you was cool with, but you would probably stick? It takes you away from your old lady. And I ain't gonna sit here and act perfect and say, oh, well, I don't follow no Instagram models. I don't follow no baddies on Instagram. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I follow some of them. But to sit here and act like that stuff can't affect my house would be crazy. So we got to get out of social media. We got to live in real life. We got to see what we see in real life. And don't get me wrong, stuff that happens in real life can affect your house. I ain't gonna sit here and say like, oh, bro, you following the baddies on Instagram, so you ain't focused on your old lady. Well, nah, bro, you can go out and the women that you see when you out can affect you and your old lady. At the same time, you got to keep the main thing, keep the right thing, and make sure that your energy is focused in the right places. So, like, I'm talking about this because I ain't speaking on the pedestal, I ain't speaking on a high horse. They're all struggles that we all go through. And, like, yeah, the panhandling prostitutes trying to tell women in relationships how to live, that's not the right way. But the incels, the Kevin Samuels of the world, and don't get me wrong, Kevin Samuels has some solid knowledge, but the guys who, whatever that, my man, not my man, y'all's man, top G, the stuff that he say, bro, that's great if you're single, but that's not necessarily how you want to live if you're in a relationship, because part of a relationship is giving and taking. You got to learn what you're willing to give and what you're willing to take in order to be in a happy place. So, like, what I say to you all is, you people in relationships, man, find what works for you, but do not allow social media to control your relationship. Because if you allow social media to control your relationship, bro, You're gonna be like all the other people on social media giving relationship advice without one. Single, panhandling, and prostituting. That's the show. Weezy out of here.